Well, after a delayed start to the season due to a long, wet winter, the Needham baseball team finally kicked off its season earlier this month, but are off to a rough start at 0-4. Now taking on Weymouth on April 14th, the team looked for their bats to heat up with the warm weather, and we have the highlights for you now. We will pick it up from Memorial Field in the top of the second with Weymouth leading 2-0. When Ryan Ainsley helps out his own cause here by singling through the left side, the scores a run to make it 3-0. Later in the inning now, Alex Rosero hits a fly ball to center field off of Connor Mullaney. That one's going to drop. It scores 2 more runs as Weymouth would plate 8 runs in the inning to take an 8-0 lead. To the bottom of the fourth we go after a leadoff single from Carter Christensen. John Madsen hits a blooper that drops. So 2 men on with nobody out for the Rockets, looking to make a comeback, but they would be unable to do so thanks to pitcher Ryan Ainsley, who would go on to strike out the side. He would finish with 12 strikeouts on the day as Weymouth goes on to defeat the Rockets in this one by a final of 10-0. Meanwhile, the Needham girls lacrosse team is off to a blazing start thanks to a potent offense that is pouring in goals. The team continues to show why it's one of the best in the state, and it was no different on April 11th versus conference title contender Framingham. Here's Michael Dermody with the highlights.
Just under a minute into the game, Needham already with a 1-0 lead when Audrey Walsh gets the ball here and scores quickly to make it 2-0 Rockets. On the ensuing faceoff, junior Katie Belleville comes up with the ground ball and using her speed runs by everyone, even her own teammates, for the goal. The Needham offense would prove to be too much for Framingham in the first half, getting goals from 7 different girls, including this laser shot from senior Catherine Conley, and they would head into the half leading 10-3. In the second half, it would be some freshmen making plays for the Rockets. After Kendall Milligan intercepts the pass, the ball comes to Sarah Conley, who scores to make it 11-3 Needham. Framingham would not give up, though, thanks to Molly Covarrubias, who scores this beautiful goal here, her 6th of the day. But it would be too little too late as Needham goes on to win by a final of 14-7 and are now 5-0 on the year.
In other news, the Needham boys volleyball team improved to 11-0 earlier this week with 3 wins over Newton North and Natick. With the wins, the boys have already qualified for the postseason and have also been recently named the #1 team in the state. Next up, the team will face Framingham on April 30th. Best of luck to them.